Hi, my name's Alan Ruffin. I'm a marketing director and creative director. There are 5 things that I do before starting any marketing campaign or creative initiative. Those 5 things are data, ideation, comps, refinement, and execution. You always want to have kind of ironed out at the beginning. You want a roadmap as to how you're going to get to this place. So let's talk about data. The first part is actually just knowing where you want to be. Do you want 100,000 warm leads at the end of the 4th quarter? Do you just want brand recognition? Is that what you're out for? But to know where you want to end up is extremely important as to the methods that you get there. So having that written out and having that solid is step 1. Step 2 in that is knowing your demographic. Run a persona. Understand what your target audience is. Understand what they like. Understand their political affiliations, where they go to eat. Are they male? Are they female? What is their income? What are the things they like to do? Their music. Everything you can know about your target audience. This is, when you drill down, really gives you a good idea as to how you're going to communicate to these people and the vehicles to which you're going to use to do it. So, vehicles. How are we going to do this? How are we going to talk to these people? Well, if you're dealing with an aging population, maybe direct mail is still the way to go, or run print ads or inserts in the Sunday paper. However, if you're dealing with a younger audience, in their 20s, maybe social media, Instagram, things like that are still are the way that you're going to communicate most effectively to that group. And somewhere in between, maybe what is needed is an integrated marketing plan that kind of encompasses everything that can get that you can saturate the market and make sure that you're hitting those 5 touch points to your demographic as much as you can. Along with this, really, the next step that you want to look at is setting a timeline. Timelines are extremely important. You want a good timeline because you want a good roadmap as to how you're going to get to the end point. So a timeline is going to give you, yes, of course, your launch date, but it's going to give you dates in between, checkpoints or key point indicators, so you know where you are at a certain time. So those KPIs are extremely important because you're going to look at them throughout the course of the project and you're going to ask yourself, am I on time? Am I on budget? Is everything running smoothly? So lastly, budgets. Budgets are extremely important because then you know what your resources are. So the worst thing would be to tell the stakeholders, the CEO, your CMO, and all the leaders in the organization that you're going to run a Super Bowl ad, and you just simply don't have the money to do it. And those expectations are kind of already out there, and they're ready to see things roll. You can't do it. So that budget is extremely important. And also at this point, having everyone sign off on the resources, where you want to be, how you want to get there is extremely important as well. This takes us to the next phase, which is the most fun. It's the ideation phase. At this point, you have the most bandwidth that you're going to have in the project. You want your stakeholders, you want your designers, you want the project, anyone that's going to touch this project, you want them all in one room. And you want them to talk about simply just the ideas that they have for the actual product or service that you are running a campaign for. So this is the point where all ideas are good ideas. This is the point where you want that friction and that conversation on what'll work and what won't work. And normally through this, you end up getting great results. It is also extremely important that you now get sign off from the team. You want everyone who is involved in this to be able to say, hey, look, we're all on the same page and we're all marching down the same street the same way. So getting your sign off here is very important because as we go down the funnel, there'll be less time and less room to make big changes. So the next phase, we're looking at creating comps. I tend to do 3 comps. One comp that is a little conservative, one that's down the middle, and another that pushes the envelope a little bit. Usually through the conversations at this point, you're taking a little bit of each thing. Sometimes you hit the ball out of the park, but most time there's still going to be some debate as to refining the actual project or refining the actual piece. This is a great time, this is a fun time too, because you're really honing in on what that creative is going to look like and what it's going to say. At this point, once you've agreed on that, you get your sign off in, you make sure everyone's in the loop, everyone's in the know, and then you're going into refinement. Now refinement is really where the project is pretty much done in a lot of respects. So you're going in and you're paying attention to detail. You're making sure that everything's color corrected properly, everything's placed perfectly and lined up. You're making sure that copy is right there and solid. That's where this refinement is. But in the stage, along with the comp stage, you do want to leave a little bit of room where you can make those small adjustments. Things to copy. Things like instead of saying tour, you might say visit. Instead of saying cafeteria, you might say dining room. Those small things that can be easily done. And at this point, you're almost there. So you want to get the final sign-offs and make sure that everything is solid. Once that's done, you're at the completion stage, the part where you actually execute, the part where you get the files together, everything bundled up, and it's off to the vendor or the publication, whatever that may be. This also holds true if you're doing an event. At this point, you've gone through the ideation, you know what the event's about, and you have everything in place. You have all your photographers or everything from the venue is all locked down, it's all solid, and you're ready to execute it. So those are kind of the 5 things that I go through and make sure that when I'm starting a project, I'm thinking about all these things. I'm getting them all set up to actually have those conversations. And through this, if you do it methodically and you keep the fun in it, you're going to have a great project